Welcome back to OrbitX AI Essentials podcast series. Last week, we broke down the global AI shift, misconceptions, and the practical 12-month AI roadmap. Today, we are diving into the tools, use cases, and real outcomes you can start seeing even without zero technical knowledge. If you have ever thought AI is too complicated, today you will change your mind. This is where AI stops being a buzzword and become a practical business tool. Most entrepreneurs don't start using AI because they don't know where to begin. They think they need technical skills. But the truth is, today, the best AI tools require no coding or no IT team. The good news is that 95% of businesses only need handful of tools that require zero technical knowledge. So Sanjay, let's simplify this. What are some practical AI tools any business owner can start using right now? And can we demonstrate how simple prompt can give industry insights or tech trends instantly?
Thanks, Rajat. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second episode. And as Rajat clearly highlighted, there is this saying which says, few is more or few are more, whatever that you want to say. All right. So just like that, you don't need to try each and every AI tool that is coming out there. All you need is probably a handful of 5 or 6 tools to get started with AI. All of us know ChatGPT is the Swiss Army knife of all tools. Let's start using that for your general day-to-day tasks, for emails, for report writing, for logical thinking, as a brainstorming partner, or whichever it is. If you're going with presentations, there's Gamma AI, a beautiful tool. You just need to generate the points relevant for your business next presentation, your student presentation, whichever it is, without only using AI, of course, and then make it prettier with Gamma. That's great. And if you are into copywriting and analysis, right now there is no better tool than Claude. Claude trumps ChatGPT and all other AI tools when it comes to copywriting. Right now, their models are far superior when it comes to analysis as well. And at the same time, spinning of artifacts. When you say artifacts is like a quick MVP of what you want your clients or what your stakeholders want to see. Claude is awesome when it comes to that. And at the same time, if you're after image, Nano Banana is something that each and every person knows. Awesome little tool. When it comes to videos, VO3 and Zora are pretty great ones out there. If you're looking at more cost-friendly options, there are Chinese AI tools that are out there like WAN 2.2, Kling.ai, whichever it is. And at the same time, when it comes to video editing, there are tools like Descript. There are tools like, Descript is a really good tool. And at the same time, you mentioned of low-code and no-code platforms. When you're trying to compete your own little workflows, N8N, Make.com, Zapier. Zapier has been there for a long time, but Make and N8N, especially N8N, has been a huge craze for the past couple of years and even now. Pretty great platform to come up with your own little workflows. And at the same time, if you're an aspiring developer, or if you are a person who always gets creative ideas, want to spin off MVPs, try it out, Replit, Cursor, awesome little tools. And you might be thinking, wow, that's a lot of subscriptions. Well, try the free versions. And the free versions are more than good enough for you to test the waters and say, hey, which tools do I need to invest on? And then take a step there. Oh, and I missed one of the 2 little tools, Gemini, obviously. The AI tool with the largest context window. And context window is something that says, hey, simply put, it's the best AI tool that's out there that you can use without going for the paid version, Gemini. And of course, when it comes to research, Perplexity is the crown jewel. There's nothing better than out there. Can't remember the last time that I used Google for search because I've been relying a lot on Perplexity. So yeah, that's a hefty list. It might change in the future, but right now, that's a place for any entrepreneur to start.
Sanjay, can you take some time to share the screen and demonstrate what these different AI tools will give you when you enter the same input? That will be helpful for our users.
Gotcha. Rajat, so let's take a simple example. All right. Let's take a very basic example of generating a business plan. All right. All of us love detailed business plans when everything is crystal clear, it's right in front of you, you have a guided roadmap of what to do. All right. And right now, with the use of AI tools, it's pretty easy. And before I go into explaining this demo, right now we are using Perplexity, GPT, and Claude in order to understand how the same set of instructions will generate 3 different outputs. All right. So this is a prompt that I have got over here. But for those who do not understand what prompts mean, prompts, without going into the technicalities, prompt is your own little way of talking to a large language model and asking to say, hey, this is what I need. Can I get your help? It's just like I'm going to ask Rajit, can we get the podcast done on a Friday afternoon? Correct. And AI is not human. AI is a tool. And when it comes to a prompt, there are 4 distinct letters or an acronym that I need all of us to remember with. And that's called role, output, context, and constraints. Role, output, context, and constraints. Easy to remember, ROCC, rock. Not Wayne the Rock Johnson, but rock. What it means is role is you need to give the role to AI to say, hey, you can see it here, you are an expert business strategist. Rather than just saying, come up with a reply for this, come up with a business plan, give me a 5-page. Yes. But in my eyes, I call that dumb prompting. Even a 5-year-old can get it done. And there has to be a distinct difference in between a 5-year-old and a working professional. So the first is you give the role. You are an expert business strategist. That's R. And then output. You need to specify the output, creating a comprehensive business plan. And you go on to give the output, you give the breakdown as well, because if I scroll through and if our audience can see that, begin by, see, this is the output that I'm highlighting right now. Executive summary, then conduct a thorough market analysis, identifying target customers, competitors. So all that you see here is the output that I would want the business plan to have. That's RO. And C is the context. AI is a master in its own arena, but AI doesn't know what's happening in the real world. That's where prompt engineering, and right now there's a new field that's coming called context engineering. Humans know context. AI does not know context. And what's highlighted right here is the context. A type of business, probably an apparel business in Sri Lanka. Target market, 25 to 35 years old, which is catering to the male and female markets. Now, AI doesn't know that. What AI knows is to give a business plan. So should it give a generic business plan, or should it give a business plan which is catering to the 25 to 35 year old, and who the unique selling proposition is a designer brand, and the initial investment is 1.5 million. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't give these instructions, it can even give a business plan amounting to 25 million or even 100 million. Okay. And for each and every different business, the business plan is different. All right. And the projected timeline is 3 years. So ROCC, so role, output, context. And the final thing is constraints. We mentioned this in the previous episode as well, which we say, hey, there are guardrails that needs to be set, because AI has higher chances of something called hallucination. Hallucination means going from side to side. Imagine you take a couple of drinks and you drive, you hallucinate. You don't know where the road is. You just come up with your own little road. So just like that, think of AI as a hyped up intern who just came out of university with a lot of energy. They have the energy, they want to prove themselves, but they don't have any understanding. They don't know what role to take. They don't know what are the constraints. They don't know the context, and they do not know what is there. But they have the energy. Think of it as your junior intern who just graduated. Then everything will become easy. But things aside, let's put this into use and let's see how each and every platform is giving us 3 different outputs. And can I use this there? So that's GPT, and this is Claude. Okay, so give it a few minutes and let's see here. Here's a comprehensive business plan. The new venture is a design approach targeting young adults. There you go. Market analysis, target customers. Now, when it comes to market analysis, let's just see here. Because I mentioned at the very outset that Perplexity is a giant when it comes to market research and research in particular. I love the points that I'm seeing here. Marketing strategies, position the brand as a premium designer apparel, initial assumptions. Now, this is not the final plan, but this is a place for us to start. And you can see here, GPT is taking a bit of a longer time. That's because by the time that we are doing this podcast, they release GPT 5.1, which essentially gives the AI to choose on its own which model to use. Does it need to reason, or am I asking for a detailed answer, or am I asking for a short answer? And that's the reason why it's going through this thinking process. Claude is there. There you go. Executive summary, business concept, mission statement. There you go. It has gone a step beyond than Perplexity here, because we didn't have a mission statement here. We did not have a business overview. We just had executive summary. There you go. 3-year timeline. Cleverly articulated. Now, that doesn't mean I'm just going to copy this into a Google Doc and say, hey, this is the business plan. But this gives a place for us to start. All right.
Sanjay, if I to ask a follow-up question on that.
Yep.
So out of these 3 platforms, what do you recommend for SME business owner? What is to be the most one that is to be used as a platform in creating a strategy or creating a business plan?
When it comes to use cases, I would say make a bargain between GPT and Claude.
Right.
Okay, when it comes to a business plan, essentially, when it comes to understanding more of what the market includes, to say, hey, if it's 25 to 35 years old, yet again, you can segment that market into accordingly. It could be 25 to 28, 28 to 30, 30 to 32, 32 to 35. And then again, segment it according to localities, maybe Colombo, Gampaha, Gaul, Anuradhapura, wherever it is, and then again segment it in terms of income wise. If you are going into that particular degree, then Perplexity is the best. But if you're starting off, Claude and GPT is the best place to start. Because one thing is, right now Claude has memory, which means it remembers past chat history. That was rolled out, I would say, a few weeks back, that particular release, that particular feature. But before that, it was only GPT of the mainstream tools that had the memory function, mainly because why I'm hyping, and not hyping, but rather why I'm highlighting the memory aspect here is, if once and for all, maybe 2 weeks down the line, you want to check something on the business plan and you say, hey, do you remember this? Then it's GPT. But if you were to use that with Claude, Claude didn't have that functionality. But now it has it. So I would say, if you are coming up with a business plan, of course, consult an expert, get their input. But if you do not have the budgets, then start out with a plan that you come with GPT, or what you call Claude, and then, of course, consult an expert. Do not just say, hey, ChatGPT told me this, I'm going to do this. So there have been multiple incidents where people have crashed
Yeah.
themselves just because they relied their business on ChatGPT alone. As I mentioned, AI is a tool. AI, you shouldn't become the tool where AI masters you. So that's where you draw the line.
Thank you.
Start your AI journey with us.
Thank you, Sanjay. So the next question is actually when you take SMEs and startups, they want proof. They want proof that AI works for them. Do you have any global or local survey stats that backs about the adoption of AI, how it has helped businesses, anything that to share with our users to make them more confident?
Yes, Rajat, definitely I have a few stats. Yeah, we are going through a transitionary time when it comes to embedding AI into the into businesses. So there are surveys that are out there which mentions that we can expect to save 15 to 30% of the time that's spent on repetitive tasks such as answering FAQs or data entry. Pretty much operational efficiency gains. And something critical when it comes to customers is customer engagement. Now, businesses can't just wait without answering customer complaints or concerns, and at the same time, they can't answer customers from 9 to 5 and maybe from 5 to 9 as well. All right. So, with the use of things like conversational AI, where you talk to an AI chatbot or AI driven marketing platforms, can be in Messenger, it can be on WhatsApp. In those occasions, customer engagement improves and results in 20 to 40% faster response times. Imagine, Rajit, if you are an insurance broker and rather than talking to the insurance agent or calling their hotline, what if there is a designated WhatsApp agent where you talk to the agent and says, "Hey, I met with this particular accident. Am I covered under the policy? Or I got hospitalized. Am I covered under my policy? If so, how much is it? If I'm gonna get uh, a claim, what's the process?" That's one. And at the same time, we are gradually seeing this in healthcare as well, and we will see it in the future as well. Scheduling. If I need to change my appointment with a doctor, I hate talking to the clinic or to the hospital and say, "Hey, I'm running into this trouble. Can I change it?" So what if there is, again, conversational AI platform where I can, if there's a chance for me to reschedule it? That's one of the things as well. And the other thing is businesses are looking for more revenue, higher top line. In that case, increase sales or leads, putting your brand out there, creating marketing assets, just like we spoke of in the last session. And at the same time, employee morale. We answered this question during the last parts of the previous episode, where we mentioned if you're trying to embed and encourage the use of AI, start with those monotonous, repetitive, mundane tasks that people hate. Because reduction of those mundane tasks is going to improve employee morale. And this is proven out there with surveys being conducted. So it's not only operational gains, improve customer engagement, increase sales and leads, increase brand awareness, and even employee morale is where results where businesses can expect during the first few months with the use of AI.
Sanjay, most entrepreneurs are um, overwhelmed not by strategy, but by
Yeah.
day-to-day tasks, HR paperwork, finance tracking, sales follow-up, customer messages.
Yep.
AI can automate a huge part of this. So my question is, how exactly can AI streamline day-to-day operations like HR, finance, sales, customer service without replacing people?
Got it. I like that question, Rajat. I like the part where you clearly highlighted without replacing people. Uh, and because AI is an enabler, and you shouldn't let the tables get turned and where you become the tool and let AI enable you to let people go. That's not something that I believe in. That's not something that most businesses believe in. That's what I think. But to answer your question, simple. Start with ChatGPT or Claude for writing and idea generation. And that's going to help a lot when it comes to everything from customer emails to full campaign planning to drafting business plans to simple report generation and idea planning. So start with GPT, ChatGPT, or Claude. That's a good one. And then at the same time, mention conversational layer. There are platforms like ManyChat or Chatfuel to manage inquiries and convert probably warm leads into actual converted customers. And then there are platforms like MailChimp AI or Sendinblue to support email marketing without needing a full-time marketer. There are businesses that are out there that would be trying to recruit email campaign specialists. You don't need that. With tools like MailChimp AI and Sendinblue, and even things like Instantly, HeyReach, you can instantly target and approach customers and hyper personalize the content as well. That's one. And all of us know Canva, and now Canva is really into the game of AI, where they recently rolled out Affinity, which is going to be a huge competitor for Adobe and Adobe Photoshop. And all of us know how much Canva has made our lives easier. So producing the visuals quickly, Canva AI. If you want to get into the subscription, I'm not paid by Canva AI, but it's just $20 subscription. All right. That's going to solve your day-to-day task. And at the same time, Google Analytics, it's just a simple plugin. It's just a simple toggle on and off to track people as to how they're using your website. Where are they bouncing off? Which pages do not add any value? And at the same time, we mentioned when we talked about N8N, so N8N and Zapier automate every task from sending invoices to updating sheets and logging leads. So this is just a teeny tiny bit of where people can start, like beginners. So let's not delve deep to say, hey, if you do, I need to have clean data sets, strong technical skills, and higher costs to start with AI. No, you definitely don't have to. And if you are a Microsoft user, use Microsoft Copilot, which is available in your own little Excels and Words. Start using that if you don't want to use any other platform. Everything is just out there. All that you need to do is just open a new tab, open a new tool, start exploring it, and start using it. That's it.
Sanjay, this is also part of the misconceptions people have. One of the things when I had the discussion prior to the podcast with some of our customers, what they said was AI take years to show results. But in reality, value appears fast when you start small. To make this more realistic, if a business start using AI today, what results can they expect within the first 90 days?
As I mentioned, operational gains, 15 to 30% minimum. Now, this is not a number that I'm coming up with, but it's been proven by surveys that have been done. And at the same time, higher customer engagement. I mentioned the use of conversational AI. I recently saw where there was an AI taxation that has been developed in Sri Lanka. A simple example, which is being used in the context of a public agency or a public institute. But why don't we, if you are having your own little e-commerce store, let's take the apparel manufacturer as an example. If they're trying to compare their own little e-commerce store, you can have a simple WhatsApp chat bot to say, hey, what is the return policy? And if I'm after this particular piece of clothing, can I get it? So high customer engagement. And then something else that I mentioned as well, high employee morale. That's going to be effective because people are your strongest asset. And if they have the highest energy, if they are on Red Bull all the time, and if that Red Bull can be given through day-to-day AI tools, that's good. But one thing that we need to be specific here is we need to break the shackles, we need to break the fears, we need to break that uncertainty that people would have when it comes to rolling out AI, because most people, most employees think their jobs are going to be next in line. It's an honest fear, but what we should imply is, hey, this is going to make you better. Because English, let's be honest, English coming from a country where our mother tongue is either Sinhalese or Tamil, English is not our strong suit. But I have seen many accomplished individuals that are out there who cannot climb the career ladder, all because they are afraid to speak up. But intellectually, they are leagues and leagues beyond the people who can converse. So AI is breaking down that language barrier. And if that can be highlighted, trust me, and in a period where India is gradually becoming superpower, we are not far out. So chances are people who migrated sometime back are going to remigrate. Just say, you never know.
Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you for the input on that. So one of the things I want to ask from you is now the people who start using AI, they often jump into wrong tools. Like they jump into developer tools, complex setups, and get discouraged. So let's give them a shortcut. Which AI tools should a beginner start with, and which ones should they avoid early on?
Avoid tools like AWS SageMaker or Google Vertex AI or on the edge with Cursor, because some people understand Cursor, some people do not. But all in all, avoid the tools that are low code or even no code. For anyone who is starting out as a complete beginner, if you have a bit of a technical knowledge, then it's good to tinker around with those little tools, because that's going to make your life easier. Because it's mentioned that data is the new oil. I disagree with that. Data is not the new oil. Ideas are the new oil. If you have an idea and if you can spin off an MVP and enter the market, prove it with the community or the society or whichever it is that you want to say, public proof it and build on it, those are the people who are going to win. So in that case, stop investing time on trying to learn a tool, because the tool, if it's a complex one to learn, that's not the tool for your job. That's not the tool that you should be mastering upon. That's why I always say, don't think from a tool perspective, think from problem perspective. But to answer your question, for ideation, GPT, Claude; for research, Perplexity; if you're building your own conversational AI, look at Chatfuel and ManyChat. ManyChat is pretty awesome because it's a simple development that you need to get done, and then you can integrate it to your socials. When it comes to workflows, N8N is super. Zapier and OpenAI recently launched out Agent Kit. Agent Kit is super. It's gonna get super as well. Trust me on this. And of course, Gemini. Gemini has. I recently saw this lecture. I was at this lecture where Google is launching out tool after tool after tool, which is killing the paid tools. So Notebook LLM is really good if you're into research again, and then trying to understand a complex topic in a pretty easy way. Nano Banana, how can we forget that? For image generation, for video generation, there's Zora as well. So then the list goes on and on, Rajat. But start with a few tools, and with those tools, start understanding what are the areas that we can solve, like day-to-day issues. It could be a simple content management or a social media system that you need to come up with. How can I start doing that? And then replicate that. Try doing it for other people just to see the experience, get that feedback, create a loop, scale it up. And that's how you start earning a few things. Upskill yourself, because there's no better time to upskill yourself than what we are right now, what we're going through right now.
Thank you. Thank you, Sanjay, for your valuable inputs. To all viewers who have been watching the episode till now, let me summarize the key points. So, what we initially talked about, the you, basically is you don't need technical skills to start simple with AI with the right tools, and also SMEs are readily benefiting through AI, backed by a lot of global and local stats. So, the starting point for all of our SMEs and startups is to eliminate the repetitive non-value adding tasks through AI. And also you will see results as soon as you implement proper tools and you get use of the proper AI systems. Then the today's episode, I think we think it will be valuable for you. If you find this valuable, please do like and subscribe and share. So in the next week, we are trying to get you automating your business, how to automate your business, and where to start with the automation journey. What is the first step? And also comment AI ready for early access of the OrbitX AI Essential course. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, ladies and gentlemen. See you soon.